Today we are going to be talking about digital platforms, and my guest is going to say that it's actually called digital natives. That is that is publications that are majorly online, and so I have a lot to say and I have a lot of opinion about digital platforms. And today we are going to be talking with the managing director of TUKO. It's just tuko.co.ke, or it's just TUKO.
TUKO Media.
TUKO Media.
Yeah.
And TUKO Media, I don't have the statistics. And probably you will tell us, probably you'll refuse to tell us what is going on there. But I know that TUKO has overtaken a lot of digital media platforms in this country. And I think that most of the traditional media were thinking that we are not going to arrive at this crossroad where digital natives or digital platforms have become very serious competition to them. Okay, so these days when I look at The Nation, I look at The Standard, I look at Business Daily, I'm just going to say that when did the rain start beating them?
Please be kind.
I am really, really kind. But you see, there is some arrogance that a certain telco used to have in this country about how they charge for data, how they charge for calling rates. And then Safaricom came. And now even banks were very arrogant when M-Pesa was being introduced. And then right now they're all using M-Pesa. You see. So TUKO Media is leaving a trail of dead media houses,
Like which ones?
we all know them. So we are going to discuss digital natives, and we are going to zero in on the person that is leading one of the leading digital natives, and that is TUKO. Julia Majale. I wanted to call you with that name.
Yes.
But how are you doing?
I am very well.
It's interesting that you are now the head of. Would you say TUKO is the number one digital native?
Yeah, that's correct. It's the leading digital media, digital news platform.
By a mile or by miles?
Miles.
Miles.
Yeah.
Do we have stats?
Yeah, we do.
General stats. What are the stats?
I think I can give you in terms of page views, the number of page views that TUKO gets in a month. They range between 27 to 30 million page views. That is on the Google Analytics. If we're using the Google Analytics statistics.
That's about 30 million page views per month.
Per month, yes.
And do you know number two? Where is number two?
I will not be mentioning.
Yes. But how many page views is number two?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the statistics for like the page views, because it's an internal thing. But if I give stats in terms of what we use to compare,
this is actually public. You can actually go to a competing.
And check. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At the moment, I cannot give the exact figures. I don't want to give figures that I'm not.
But it's estimated one. Would you put it at 10 million? Would you put it at 15 million?
I don't want to be misquoted.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes. But when I was young, I wanted to be a preacher.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then when at some stage I wanted to be a TV personality, and then it changed. I wanted to be a writer.
Then you became one.
Then I became one, a writer. And I have never loved being a writer because I cut across all disciplines. I can write for anything under the sun, Do you remember your childhood, what you wanted to become? First of all, did you grow up in Nairobi?
No. I came to Nairobi in campus when I was joining Daystar University. But I used to visit Nairobi at my uncle's place once in a while growing up. I grew up in Bungoma. Bungoma is a very infamous county because of a lot of things that happen there, which are just I don't say ridiculous, but they're very funny, and I think Bungoma makes news all the time.
There are memes.
Yeah. Yes. Memes about it. It's a very famous.
The capital city. The capital city of memes.
Yeah. Like right now, we have our own Jesus. Anyway,
that guy is from Bungoma.
Yeah, he's from Bungoma. So I grew up in Bungoma. I always knew I will. Okay, I can't say I always knew, but I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I used to ask a lot of questions. That's something, even right now, if you ask my husband, he'll tell you he gets tired of my questions. I always have questions and questions. So I was like that when I was young. I would ask questions. Guests will come in the house and I'll have questions for each and every person, my mom, my dad. I was very inquisitive. So they used to joke that I'll either become a broadcaster or a lawyer. Yeah. Even right now, my hubby usually tells me, why don't you just become a lawyer? Like, I always have questions. So because of that, I had the sort of an inkling, I'll go towards this profession that asks questions over and over. And then I used to, there's a joke my dad always tells to my family or during Christmas holidays, how I used to read the newspaper upside down. And I will say, for those who understand Swahili, nyamazeni nasikia matangazo, I will say matangajo. That's ridiculous. So I was very interested in news for some reason. I don't know why. But also, I also learned my dad made me start reading very early. Like he would give me books, novels, way early. And then he would follow up like, have you finished? What have you read? What have you... So there was that... it's like I was being guided towards a certain path. Not... it was not very deliberate, but I sort of went there. Yeah, that was my childhood. And
then so you went to a good school. You went to a school that you're not proud of. I went to a school, my primary school. I'm not proud of my primary school. I'm proud of it in the sense that I'm proud of it, but it was not.
Okay, that's very direct.
There is nothing to remember about it.
Okay, that bad. Well, I went to a very good school. It's actually still one of the leading private schools in Bungoma. It's called Majale Academy.
It's interesting that most of the times when you get your education right, you're going to get life right. Is it really true? Because I was born in the village. I am not sure if I've accomplished anything. I don't, but people went to good schools, end up.
They seem to have accomplished something.
Yeah.
Okay. I know my dad was very deliberate about good schools. So I did go to a good school at that time. It was a public school. Even right now, I think it's called Majale Group of Schools. It's in Bungoma. So I was schooled there the first years of primary. Then I moved to another private school. It was called Gateway. Again, that went well. And then my high school, I went to a high school in Mumias, a girls' high school. Right now it's called St. Mary's in Mumias. And then now I went to Daystar University.
The high school, how was it? What did you guys learn there? Was this one of those, boarding schools where people are cramped in a hall and...
It was a Catholic boarding school. That's all I remember.
Catholic boarding schools are not very bad.
Yeah, but it was actually nice. All I remember, we used to eat chicken, which is not very normal to other schools. You
ate chicken.
Yeah,
I ate omena throughout my high school.
Oh yeah, that's. Was it cooked well? I'm curious.
No, I don't know. It was. I was cooking it by myself. I never, because my father wasn't able to afford boarding school.
Oh, I was wondering which boarding schools.
So what he did to me was that it was actually a boarding school and a day school. So what he did was that he went and hired and rented a room close to school. And then give me lots and lots of omena to go and cook. So I remember I probably ate omena just the entire time.
Do you still eat omena right now?
Yes, I do.
I wouldn't.
It's lovely. Omena, it's difficult to divorce yourself from omena.
I know, I love it, but I'm just thinking, if you eat it so much.
I think you're saying that because of people who ate cabbages in school and they're no longer eating cabbages.
Or githeri. Yes, but I do. For me, I do. It took me a minute.
Then you came to Daystar. What did you learn in Daystar?
In Daystar, I think Daystar was fun. and fun in the sense that first year I was very green. I was a day scholar actually my entire.
And you were a villager.
Wow.
Why you not?
I don't know how to put that. But my first year was very you're figuring things out, a freshman. And I used to go home every day. I didn't live in school, so I didn't get to have that life of people living freshers living in school, which was nice. So that means I was very what's the word?
The one next to the next upper in Nairobi, or the other one?
At the river.
The other one in Athi River.
Yeah, Athi River. But we used to live in South Sea at that time.
South Sea.
Yeah. So I will come home every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was first year. Second year, I don't know if it was something I attended or it was an advice by someone, I can't remember. But I was advised to just be very to engage in extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm in a media school. There's a radio station. We have a newspaper. I started, I decided to apply. And it was very formal, by the way. You apply, you go through interviews. And then you...
Yeah, I remember that you had to be saved. Did you lie that you're saved?
Are we talking about religion in this?
No, but that was. I remember. Oh, that was just a lie. People were not being asked if you were saved.
No, okay, that was during the application, and for joining the school.
How exactly were they asking this question? I'm very interested.
It was a whole. You'll write like a whole test. Okay, not
testimony.
Testimony. Yes, when you are applying, like written everything, and then you apply. Then they'll decide. Of course, we didn't have those interviews like one-on-one. But at this point, I'm talking about the interviews for you to work like in the radio station. So I did apply. I went in for interviews. I think they used to pick students who are like in their second year, people who've done at least the introduction to mass communication at that time. Yeah. So I got in the radio. I had 2 shows. One countdown show on Saturday, which was very interesting, 3 hours. I loved it on Saturdays. And then I had another show. It was an arts show every Tuesday morning. So this sort of diversified how I thought in terms of work and school. So I was very busy. And then I joined the university publication as a photographer. I was the girl with dreadlocks who always has a camera in her hand anywhere during events. Everyone will stop me to take their photos and they'll come to me for them to give them later. Yeah, so I will write photography, I'm in radio, and then at some point I did news for the Swahili sports news, which was again I didn't know I was good at Swahili. I don't think I was, but yeah. So that was me being busy. And then I joined, at some point, I met someone who introduced me to an editor at Capital FM, and they wanted students to write for them news, things that are happening in campus. So there's a section called Capital Campus. So I used to send in my stories and they were published. If you're in campus, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, my campus life was very busy. The last two years.
It's interesting that in the digital agency, when you get people from college, they're very much half-baked, and what you see is it's like they were not interested. There is a lady who told me when she came for internship that the course that I've actually done, I did it for my father, and I'm figuring out what I want to do for myself.
And why was she doing the internship? To finish the course?
Yeah, it's a requirement.
Oh, okay. So I think for me, my experience was different in terms of this is what I wanted to do. So it has to do a lot with you as a person. Like it has to be, you have to be intentional about it. It's a personal initiative. For me, that was personal. And I also feel like I had so much time in campus. Like I had all this, in campus, you're either people are going for a party, you're going for a meeting somewhere, or, but for me, I had all the time. So I used that time too. And I still can't remember who advised me to do that, but for some reason, I followed that. I didn't know where it was going to lead me. Maybe
you're just intentional about your future.
I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know at that time. But I think for now, and I've advised this to my siblings, my brother right now is at multimedia doing the same course, communication, and I've advised him, take all the chances, use all the opportunities to grow, because you're going to build yourself. It will help you when you're out there looking for a job.
And I think that is what is very important too.
Yeah.
I remember when I was at that shitty school, I went to Nairobi Aviation School.
Does it still exist?
Well, man, I really don't know. I don't follow so much about, because the principal and the owner became another Ezekiel, and things just went awry. They started cheating in exams and a lot of stories. But anyway, they gave me the after I left. The stories that came were after I left. So, anyways, I don't want to say anything about that.
Yeah, you were saying while you were there, what happened?
I was there. I was a cameraman too. But I wasn't like you. You were a bit privileged. You're just taking photos for the sake. I was selling photos. That is how I was surviving.
It was for survival.
Yeah, I was taking photos and selling them, and that's how I would get the pocket money I was getting. And my college was college was very tough for me, but I enjoyed it. One of the things that I remember doing in college is that Mutano and myself, we went to the Ministry of I don't know what was used to be called, Information and Technology, I think,
at that time.
And we asked for a press card.
Wow. Yeah.
And the little lady there refused to give me a press card and said, this is only given
to journalists.
To journalists. And we said, and we went outside with Mutano and then went back and told the lady that, you know what, we have to have this press card. And she was like, for what reason? And we told her that, we have been invited to the UN and they don't allow anybody without a press card there.
Yeah.
And so, we were two little boys and this was a little lady, and she just looked at us and said, all right, I'm going to give you the press cards. And she gave us the press cards. And so what we were doing, because Mutano and myself were coming from a poor background, and we were just scavengers in the city. No lunch money, no nothing. So what we would do with the press card, which was extremely powerful, Julia.
I know.
So
press card is powerful.
Yeah, and especially given by the government of Kenya, it was very, very powerful. So we used to actually go to these 5-star hotels. So Mutano had a friend at the news agency, Nairobi office. And he went and told the guy that I want you to put me in the list of journalists.
Yeah.
The email. So Mutano would get all the email invites.
So you will attend press conferences.
We would attend press conferences. We would attend luncheons. We would just say that we are journalists. And I don't know.
That is good exposure.
I remember there is a time we had a breakfast meeting at the Intercontinental. We had a press conference with Garang at the Libyan hotel. It used to be called Laiko
Regency. Yeah.
Okay, and then we had a luncheon for journalists at Serena. The same day, we had a cocktail party at Sarova in the evening. I'm telling you.
Wait,
and
so what did you used to say? You're a journalist from?
Oh, they will look at your press conference and they won't ask you because it was hard. The government.
No, I know, but when you're interacting, when you're networking.
Mutano was a good liar.
Yeah, you had to be.
You'd say anything. Mutano could even say he's from the BBC. I mean, wow. It was great. So that is how we got this exposure and knowing journalists and writing and things like that. So you finished college and then you went to.
So I finished. I think I hadn't finished actually. I was like on my last year, because also going through school wasn't very easy for me. There was a few financial challenges here and there. But I think during my last year, and I remember this very clearly, I used to take part in work-study programs. Work-study programs is where you work for the school, and then part of the tuition, they reduce part of the tuition, like the money you earn goes to your tuition. So I think I used to earn like 40K every month, but you don't get to have the cash. It goes to the tuition, like to reduce from school. School, yeah. So I used to work at a lab, like a computer lab, but specifically for communication students. So I will help students with, they want to print something, they want to write something, the computer has an issue, the usual computer lab things, yeah. So I remember I was working at a night shift, because students come in sometimes at night, and a student came in and said, who is looking for internship? My lecturer at that time, and she's very good, she's called Rosemary Kowar. She's still there. She said Rosemary Kowar is looking for anyone who wants to be an intern. I think they had like a partnership with Nation Media at that time in Standard. So they would pick students from day staff for internship. A paper was passed around, I wrote my name, and they moved on with life. Next thing, the lecturer calls and requests now for me to send a CV and application, and I send, and she says it's okay. And then I was called for an interview. Actually, I was called for an interview at Nation and Standard, but the Standard one came first. So I went, and it was very rigorous. I still, at that time, of course, I didn't understand. Right now, I understand why you have to go through that rigorous process to get somebody who's good, even if it's an intern.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very rigorous. I think we did several tests, writing. I think there was another, I can't remember which other one. And then I passed. I joined Standard, and it was a big, at that time, as a student, you're just like, this is like the dream, working for this big media house on Mombasa Road. Yeah. And then I joined Standard, and I joined the digital desk. So for me, it's like my career was heading towards one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't go to print or TV. I was put on the digital desk. Yeah. And that's where I took off. So the digital desk, at that time, we used to get stories from print, PDF, put them on the web, upload on the website, make sure the website is updated, posting stories on Facebook, on Twitter, live tweeting news, sending out, what are they called? SMS alerts, news alerts, yeah. So, as an intern, you get in, you grow, you start working on international stories, you write here once in a while. Again, with the same mentality of doing everything. I went in and I started writing for the trending section of the newspaper. At that time, Standard had a section of what's trend. It was called What's Trending. Yeah, so I would pick what's trending, like tweets, stuff like that. And then I even got a byline. So I started writing. Once in a while, I would send an editor a story. It's published. And I'm still on a digital desk. I was there for 6 months. I left. I got called back, I think, after like a few months again. Now I was given a contract as an employee. Not P&P, but as on contract basis. Yeah, still the same. I was there for 2 years, and then TUKO came in now. Yeah.
And so that gives us the transition to TUKO. TUKO is you call it before we started this interview a digital native.
Yeah.
That means that a publication or a digital platform that is exclusively online, and this is the business that is really, really booming right now, and I love it. I enjoy it. I learn a lot from it. I have my own that is starting, which is far, far, far behind TUKO and the rest of them. But it's really, really interesting. The psychology of so where you worked at the Standard, what the traditional media do not seem to understand. I was during your party when you're graduating, after your graduation.
Yeah.
We went to your party, and I was talking to one of the ladies that is working with the big three or the big two, and she was telling me that they are really scrambling to catch up and to be like Kenyans.co.ke, TUKO.co.ke, Mpasho, and all these other guys. I see the other one called the Nairobi.
Nairobi News.
Nairobi News. They are really, there is something that they are doing that the traditional media doesn't seem to understand, or they are lacking in understanding. When I had a meeting with Brian Munene of Kibanda Pictures, we talked at length about the mindset of the traditional media in terms of content creation. And in his estimation, that the traditional media think that they are the product, and then content is something that you can only bring to them to have a look at, reject or or throw under.
That is for videos.
For videos, yes. So for TV series and things like that. And I see the same trend about how they handle news. And it's digital native is a very competitive field, because you are not just competing, I believe, against Nation. You are competing against
we actually
BuzzFeed.
Don't. Yeah,
you are competing against BuzzFeed. You are competing against BBC. You are competing against. I mean, people are in a global platform, and everybody is trying to,
Yeah.
And I feel like there is something that this new media knows that these other guys. The lady told me that the traditional media is being looked after by old people that do not understand what it means to be on Instagram and how Instagram drives stories, how TikTok drives stories, exactly. Things like that. Yeah. What would you say? What are some of the things that digital media is not getting right?
Traditional media.
Yes, traditional media.
Well, I think I can start from, if anything, traditional media actually are the ones who, they saw this coming a mile away. As I said, when I joined Standard as an intern, it was in 2012 or 2013, I joined on the digital desk. That means they had it there. Maybe they just hadn't figured it out. Maybe they didn't have like an R&D.
TUKO would come in how many years later?
2 years later. No, actually a year later. Yeah, no. 2 years. 2 years later.
2 years later.
Yeah, because I joined TUKO when it was a year older. Yeah, but you see, it was already there at that time. Standard was the #1 leading news website. That's how we used to promote. It was a big deal. Even Nation hadn't caught up. None of these other traditional media houses hadn't caught up. But the thing is, these companies have been in existence for such a long time. I think 100 years. Some are like 70. Yeah. It's been a minute. And to change mindsets, if anyone, I'm sure this, change is very hard.
Yeah.
It's very painful. It's a process, and you have to change everything from within the company, how the people think, even just to show them that this is the direction we're going. You have to do you have to have people who are buying into your idea, and it's such a fight. So for me, I think I've given them that benefit of the doubt. Like, it's not easy. There are people who want to do it, but then they are like decision makers. You have to convince them, and how you're viewing these things from the digital side and how they view things is completely different. Especially people who have companies which have print, TV, radio. For example, right now, I don't know who listens to radio. I don't want to be. I don't want to be very outright, but yeah, it's changing. Right now, people are going to podcasts. Same thing with movies, Go TV and the likes. People right now have smart TVs. No one is paying subscriptions for. Okay, not no one. Some are, but I think the numbers have drastically reduced.
Gone down.
And it's this whole thing of disruption and change. And I think right now it's so big because there are a lot of opportunities in terms of innovating. So people are innovating a lot. I'm sure even there's going to be something that's going to be better than TUKO. I can guarantee you. Someone is thinking about something better than TUKO. So they will catch up, and I think they are going to catch up. They've already started.
If I am Standard, or if I am Nation, if I am KBC needs to be caned, KBC is doing so bad, and
yes, they have a lot of material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think they would not just say, okay, we do not understand this thing? We do not understand this thing, and so what needs to happen is that we need to hire
people
Julia. We need to hire these. Make a department, because my thinking is that they're trying to have one media house, which is not working. So you want to claim that you have a digital desk. Forget about a digital desk. Forget about a trending desk. Whatever. Make a digital department and have them be autonomous and drive things. We have Julia, who is the head of digital. And Julia does not answer to the print guy.
Oh, yeah. I've actually seen some of the media houses are doing that. Like, they're converged. Like, you have somebody who can produce a story for digital. Actually, that's like the rule. Produce a story for digital, for print, for radio. So that's what I'm saying. They are getting there. It's slow and painful, but they are getting there because of the change. Changing things is very hard. And also, what I've also learned is, like in companies or media or whatever aspect of life, we have a past, we have a present, we have a future. So you get some people who are stuck in the past. Like, this is how we do things. I'm sure even right now, if someone introduces a change to you, you'll be hesitant. Like, I'm used to doing things this way. Like, I'm used to driving this car. You're being given a new car. So there's that feeling of the comfortability. And then now there's the present, what's happening now. And then now there's the future. So most people are stuck in the past and the present. No one actually usually looks at the future. So for TUKO, and I've seen this done so well because we have... our headquarters, TUKO's headquarters are in Ukraine. So we have like a team, a research and development team, who their work is just...
Are they actually right there in Ukraine, or they are somewhere else right now?
They are in Ukraine. Okay, I know the war is going on, but there are areas where things are chill.
The war is not so bad.
Yes, in some areas. So we actually have a team that does that, R&D. Their work is to research, come up with new ideas. They're identifying what's happening, what's changing. Again, we work very closely with Google and Facebook, these digital companies. It's a tech company, so they are very ahead in terms of researching and innovating ways. So by the time we are figuring things out, these other media houses, they're still, and I don't know. I don't want to talk for them. I don't know what's happening there.
Well, we must talk for them. So
no,
we must talk and theorize what is going on.
Yeah,
what is going on there.
I think.
So
I
was actually coming to that, to tech.
Yes,
because
tech.
I think that is where the secret lies, and I imagine that TUKO is tech first.
Yeah.
You deeply understand how Google algorithm works. You deeply understand how the robots work, how the internet is crawled, and how this information is put in the Google database, and basically listening tools, how you listen to the audience, and then find out what is selling, what they want to listen to, what they want to read, and things like that. And even the way your pages scroll infinitely, you just go and you can read for 32 days.
Yes, tech. That's the advantage. It just keeps going and going.
Which is really magical. So even when you say that these guys are stuck in the past, they don't want to look at this. Don't you think then that there are secrets that the traditional media is grappling with? I mean, or do you think that just a matter of looking for these techies?
What I know, with the disruption, it has actually brought about opportunities for roles that never existed.
Yeah.
Like before, you didn't actually need a tech person in a newsroom. Why? It was not necessary. But right now, you have to hire someone tech to actually come and tell you this is how this is working. We should try this. We should do this. And I think they're doing it. Maybe it's just the pace, or they also have their own different ideas and different plans, And
different KPIs.
Yes, that's the thing. As we have our own different KPIs, I have my own different KPIs, which are reviewed, by the way, every 3 months.
Yeah.
So I have to be on my toes. These guys, they also have their own KPIs and they have their own targets. So we don't really know what they're aiming for. But maybe whatever they're doing is working for them. Maybe their focus is not to be like TUKO or to grow digitally like TUKO. Maybe their focus is something else.
Probably one of the things that is, this is accusatory, and people are accusing these digital platforms of clickbaiting people.
Yeah, that has been said before.
Yeah.
But I just to make it clear for TUKO, from where I stand, because you work very closely with Google, you cannot make money from articles that you have clickbaited. Like, they're very strict policies. I know
Facebook.
Yes.
I know Facebook is very, but I find Facebook just careful with clickbaiting when you are sponsoring the posts. But when you're just having the raw numbers like you guys have, then they're letting it pass. I mean,
now what I can tell you for free is because of our numbers, Facebook has a very different. It gives us a very different eye. It looks at us very differently. There are things we just
favorably.
not favorably. Actually, they're very strict because of that, because of the numbers. So there are people who have less numbers and they can post anything. You can even see these other media houses. For us, we can't write stories like on crime, hate, rape, because either your page can be brought down, you can be demonetized because of that. Like, there are very strict policies that you have to follow because of monetization. So for other companies, media companies that are not monetizing on Facebook, for them, anything goes. And it's the same with...
But gossip goes.
That's what I'm saying, anything goes. Anything
but
goes.
For you guys, gossip goes.
For us, we do write a lot of entertainment stories. Actually, not a lot. We have several desks. It's just because entertainment sells. So chances of you meeting with an entertainment story are very high, as opposed to you meeting with an interview of a business, a CEO that we've interviewed somewhere. But we do have different desks. We have a business desk, current affairs desk, political desk, entertainment desk, human interest desk, sports desk. But just because it's synonymous with entertainment stories, so chances are you're going to meet that story because they go viral a lot compared to this other type of content that we publish. Yeah.
So, but there is nothing wrong with the clickbaiting people.
No, it's very wrong. As I said, we do not clickbait people.
What is wrong with clickbaiting people?
What is wrong with clickbaiting? Because you're promising people something that you don't have. Yeah, that is what's wrong.
But can you write a story? Can you write a story? Because I think clickbaiting should be divided into two.
Maybe you're getting the word wrong. It's not clickbaity. It's catchy. You need a catchy headline. Something that's going to make me want to click. That is the thing. Not boring print headlines.
So a catchy headline
is very different.
It's not
clickbait
headline.
It's not clickbait. Clickbait.
But if we go to the
clickbait
traditional meaning of clickbaiting, you are basically baiting them to click. And whether you can give it any name you want, whether it's catch or not, but basically you are catching them. You're trying to catch them,
and that's okay.
Yeah.
My understanding of clickbait headline is you're telling people this is what's in the story, and then you click on the story, you don't find it.
Yes.
That
I think
that's my understanding of clickbait, and that's what's
and
not.
That is how general it is. No, it's known.
Yeah,
it's known.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what you can't do. It's not. It's. We actually have a team, like people who head of departments who have to approve headlines as they go. As they are suggested headlines when you're signing stories. So you just can't let any headline go just because. So we have very strict rules in terms of clickbait. We actually do not. Yeah.
But there are lots of people that are you said entertainment sells.
Of course, entertainment sells.
Would you say entertainment is gossip?
No, it's not gossip. I think gossip is just a word that people like using just to motionner, like they use it to generalize. But entertainment is so wide. I can interview a celebrity. That's entertainment. It's not gossip.
Yeah,
it's the story. You could be interviewing me here right now as a celebrity.
Yeah.
Is this gossip?
No, it's not.
Exactly. It is entertainment. So it's just this generalization of stories that are light. Let me use the word light stories. The generality of
people say TUKO iko na motion.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It's this mentality.
Yeah.
It's this word of motion. Like they know things. The thing with TUKO is we are very good in how we monitor. Monitor is how we get stories, we source for stories.
Yeah.
So there are high chances anything that's trending, anything you see, TUKO probably has it because of how we source for our stories.
How you crawl.
How we crawl. Okay, don't use the word crawl. We just have a very there are specific training that our team has been taken through on how to source for stories and how you cannot. So chances are you can't find a big story out there that's not on TUKO. So that's where this mentality of motion, because kitu yote inatendeka huko nje, TUKO probably has it. So that is that mentality. Yeah. But it's not about gossip.
TUKO for purposes of argument, there's a lot of gossip stories going on, or what you'd call entertainment stories. But I have a feeling that TUKO is also so much into green content.
It's not a feeling, it's the truth. That's what I'm saying. We as I said, we have several departments. So it's just because
there's a department for green content.
Yeah, we actually call it evergreen content that I can read today, I can read it next year, I can read it 2 years from now, and it will still make sense. Timeless content.
Yes.
So we do have Like there are people who that's their work. They are assigned to handle such stories because of the depth. People are going to read these stories longer. They'll read to the end of each story. You know, of course, that's good for business.
Yeah.
Chances of clicking an advert are high. So they actually encourage to do evergreen content. So we do have short stories. We do have long stories. And like for evergreen content, I'll give you example of, we call them listicles. We do a lot of lists about this and that, about a person, about business, about so that fits in that category. Yeah.
So TUKO has this thing called, there is TUKO. I see TUKO Queen.
It's a Facebook page.
Just why do you call it? What?
So it's just like different brands. Like we do have a TUKO main page, just like the main TUKO Facebook page. And I think you've mentioned something about tech. We've figured out how to engage with our audience. So we actually have a team who their work is just to talk to the audiences, to respond to comments on our page, to engage them. Like that's a KPI. That's So that's how we're able to get feedback. That's how we're able to get these stories that people are always wondering.
The Queen page is not targeting women.
No, I was getting there.
Yeah.
So we have a TUKO main page there. That is just all the key stories go there. Then we have TUKO breaking. That's specifically for current affairs stories, political stories, breaking news. And then now we have TUKO Queen. TUKO Queen is specifically, it's targeting women. So stories about women, stories that, topics about health, topics about fashion. Yeah. What you're saying, gossip, entertainment goes on that particular page, TUKO Queen.
On Queen.
Yeah.
So, but how does the government look at TUKO? Because honestly, TUKO is big. And when you hear politicians talk, they hardly mention, they have a big problem with these big media houses. I don't know whether because they are bringing, like for example, Citizen was at the ruling class had a problem with Citizen
because of politics.
Because of politics.
Yeah.
But you're also into politics. How do you manage to dodge this bullet over and over again? Is it because that you're afraid to say things? You're afraid to have town hall meetings where people are talking politics? You guys are just like, okay, for us, we don't want to get into this hardcore politics. We just want to stay, around entertainment and not influence. Because I'm thinking TUKO can influence elections.
We actually do politics. As I said, we do. Entertainment is just it's a fraction. Of TUKO.
When last did you write a story that the government was like, we have a problem?
Oh, I have gotten calls. I just can't talk about it. But I have gotten calls about stories that are favoring a certain candidate during the previous elections. Yeah. Maybe it's just because the spotlight is not so much on us, because it's a sort of alternative media. It's not the mainstream. But yeah, we do have situations.
But I imagine that if you are in a very techie government like the United States or UK or Rwanda,
of course
people they will know how influential you are. Do you think that the government of Kenya knows how influential you are, or they still think that it is the meat wrapper is there?
I think they do. We actually have.
But do they have the raw numbers? Do you think the government knows the raw numbers of how big TUKO is?
I can't tell in terms of that. But what I know is that we have adverts. We actually engage in business with the government, so they are aware. I'm just not sure about whatever you're hinting at. I'm not sure about that. But as I've said, there are stories we've done that we've gotten calls for doing such stories. Yeah. You
are a woman, and you are. I saw a picture of you being among boys the other day at the media.
At the Media Council of Kenya during the World Press Freedom Day.
Yes. And I think you are the only one.
Yes, I was the only woman.
Amongst how many men?
I think there were 7.
There were 7, right?
Yeah.
And that is interesting, don't you think so? And so the question is, why do you think women are not leading media houses? And is it a male world?
That's a tricky one. What I know, actually, they do. There are women. Like for that particular panel, since I was part of, when they're doing the invitations.
They chose you because you're the managing director at TUKO.
Yes, but there were also other women. They just didn't show up.
How many women do you know that come close to the title you have in this country? No, I'm being really, really honest, because
in media,
yeah,
I'm not sure about MD, but I know the ones who are leading. For example, at Nation we have Pamela Sitoni.
Yeah, she's the group. Which position?
She's the group. Is it the group managing editor? Yeah, like she's the top in terms of editorial. Yeah. That's one. I think that's one of the highest. The rest that I know are mostly managing editors, which was my previous role. So I knew several of them. One at Citizen, one at Standard. Of course, majority are I agree, majority are men. So we don't have a lot of women. Even myself, when I became managing editor, it was a struggle, especially because this is a digital media. You don't have anyone who's done this before. Everyone else is on the traditional media side. So it was a challenge. And then they're also older. So people in their 30s who are heading media houses, of course, yeah. I don't know if you have.
And how do you talk about how big is how many employees are at TUKO?
Oh yeah, I can. I can. Oh, you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm asking you that so that I have a follow-up question on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, TUKO is, of course, it's big, but it's not. I can't say it's big like these other media houses.
Yeah.
But right now we have, I think, around. I can say should be 70 employees.
70 employees.
Yeah.
And how about writers that are not considered employees?
Correspondents, maybe around 20. The ones who we are working with very, on time, on a regular basis.
So about 100 employees right now.
They could get there. Yeah, they could get there.
The future of digital natives. Where is the war going to be? Where are we going to have? I mean, there are people who are. Are you scared of the people that are coming up?
Scared? Wow, I don't use the word scared. Scared? I think maybe just be prepared. I think we are prepared. You always have to identify what's coming and to align yourself with that. Let me use that.
And TUKO is confident that nothing is going to get them unawares.
Oh, I don't think anything has ever gotten us unawares in terms of digital. In terms of that, I don't think so.
I know you have a sister in Ghana called.
Oh yeah. So TUKO is under a larger company, an IT company in Europe. But so TUKO is under the media side of this company, and they have several companies in Africa. There's a TUKO media company in Ghana, in Nigeria. The one South
called
Africa
is in Nigeria.
Is in Nigeria.
And
that's actually bigger, way bigger than TUKO. It has a lot of employees. It's way bigger.
I saw that it is the number 2 in Nigeria, or has it taken number 1 spot?
Okay, I'm not sure, but I know it's one of the leading.
And then the one in Ghana is called
Yen. It's called Yen. 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 Yen.com.
I imagine that is a Ghanaian language.
Yes, it's Ghana. It's Ghanaian.
Okay.
And then we have Briefly in South Africa.
Yeah. And I imagine you're trying to conquer the continent.
Oh yeah. And right now we have there's a new product. It's called Sports Brief.
That is the one that I'm interested in.
Yes, it's focusing on sports.
But do you have a podcast for sports? Maybe I should come and start it there.
We could talk.
I am my Facebook. I don't know if you follow me on Facebook.
Yeah, I do.
Always talking about sports, and
you're passionate about it.
Oh man, I don't drink alcohol a lot.
Oh, so that's the only okay.
Yeah, so probably Oh, yeah. So thank you very much for coming. I think shout out to you. We're wishing you the best.
Thank you for the confidence.
You know, and we are hoping that TUKO is going to be bigger and bigger, and we are hoping that other African digital natives can come up and catch up with TUKO, because that's what we need, right?
Of course, we are moving. We are moving towards something better. As of course, as a world, we have this trajectory where we're headed. Yeah, so I think it can only get better and better.
Did you foresee yourself becoming this? Honestly,
no.
Are you getting shocked every day?
The shock has went off now. I mean, the work, it's a lot. Work is a lot. Yeah, it was very daunting. The work is a lot. The KPIs, are quite high. Yeah, quite high. But yeah, I'm slowly getting the hang of it.
Great. Thank you very much, Julia. I know you as Irene.
Yes.
You know,
Thank you for inviting me.
Julia is a beautiful name. Is it what's is it English? No,
it's English.
Julia.
Yes.
Majale.
Yeah. Irene is my home name. My ID name.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to this show. I've been talking to Irene, who is doing very well in the digital native world, and so I would ask you to subscribe to this YouTube channel. The moment you subscribe, we get likes. Google thinks that we are doing something amazing, and will second this video to others. Tap on that notification bell,